Have you ever been on a road trip? They're lots of fun. In the United States, there are so many interesting places to see and things to do. Grab your camera and off we go. Have you ever thought about other places in the world? As we grow up, it's important to learn about other countries and understand how other people and other children live. Today, we're on our way to visit some of the most popular tourist destinations in the United States. Mount Rushmore is a national memorial carved into the granite face of this mountain, located in the Black Hills of South Dakota. 4 U.S. presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, have been honored with sculptures reaching 60 feet tall. A Danish-American sculptor and his son began this ambitious project in 1927 and finished in 1939. You may be familiar with Mount Rushmore because it has appeared in many scenes featured in movies and on television. The Grand Canyon, which, believe it or not, was carved by the Colorado River flowing through it over millions of years, is a national park located in Arizona. This magnificent canyon is 277 miles long and up to 18 miles wide. For thousands of years, Native Americans built settlements within the canyon and its many caves. Today, many tourists visit the Grand Canyon for activities such as sightseeing, camping, whitewater rafting, hiking, and even helicopter tours. After leaving Arizona and arriving in California, we'll drive across the majestic Golden Gate Bridge, which is not only one of the most recognizable symbols of San Francisco, it has also been designated as one of the wonders of the modern world. It is known as the most beautiful and most photographed bridge in the world. It opened in 1937 and until 1964 was also the longest suspension bridge in the world. In addition to cars, the Big Orange Bridge also has special walkways beside the 6 traffic lanes so that people walking and bicycle riders can also cross the bridge. Another famous landmark in San Francisco is Chinatown. Going all the way back to 1848, Chinatown is the oldest and largest Chinese community outside of Asia. With its own hospitals, parks, places of worship, social clubs, and a post office, Chinatown continues the history and culture of some Chinese people who immigrate to the United States from China. Like the Golden Gate Bridge, Chinatown is also a favorite setting for movies and television shows and receives even more visitors than the Golden Gate Bridge. Driving north up the west coast to Seattle, Washington, we'll stop at the Space Needle, an observation tower that was built for the 1962 World's Fair. This massive tower soars skyward for 605 feet. You might be surprised to learn that it has 25 lightning rods and can withstand winds up to 200 miles per hour and earthquakes up to 9.1 magnitude. Riding the elevator to the top, which by the way takes only 41 seconds, we'll find a rotating restaurant and an open deck where we can view the city of Seattle as well as surrounding mountains and islands. Like the other famous landmarks we're visiting on our road trip, the Space Needle has also made frequent appearances in movies and on TV shows. The Space Needle even has its own Lego construction set as part of their architectural series. Okay, back into the RV. Buckle your seatbelt for the long drive south from Washington State to Texas. Arriving in Texas, we're heading straight to San Antonio to visit 2 famous landmarks. You may already know them from movies and TV, and one even from your history books. The Alamo was founded in the 18th century as a Roman Catholic mission and was one of the earliest Spanish missions in Texas. As a mission, it was built to educate nearby Native Americans, but was abandoned in 1793. After sitting empty for almost 10 years, the Alamo became a military fortress. Then, in 1836, it was immortalized as the site of the Battle of the Alamo, which played an important role in the Texas Revolution, which led to Texas's independence from Mexico. Leaving the Alamo, I know the perfect place to stop for lunch. The Riverwalk was built along the banks of the San Antonio River. Since it's lined with shops and restaurants, it's a favorite tourist attraction. We can even have lunch on one of the floating, barge-type boats that are covered with colorful flowers. Some even have mariachi bands playing as they float down the canal. Driving east for a very long time, we arrive in Washington, D.C. and marvel at the height of the monument completed in 1884 to honor George Washington. George Washington was the first president of the United States. At almost 555 feet, it's the tallest stone structure in the world. If you look closely at the picture, you can see how tiny the people look compared to the height of the monument. 50 American flags, one for each state, fly 24 hours a day in a circle around the base of the monument. An elevator ride to the top takes 70 seconds, just over a full minute. For those tough enough to walk to the top, be prepared to climb 897 steps. The Liberty Bell is an iconic symbol of American independence, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The famous crack in the bell occurred when it was first rung. Because bells were rung to mark readings of the Declaration of Independence in July of 1776, it was fitting that this bell was adopted as a symbol to represent our liberty. You may have seen an image of the Liberty Bell on coins and stamps. The National Park Service is responsible for maintaining and displaying the bell. Well, we're back on the road again. We'll finish our road trip in the state of New York. Our first stop will be at Niagara Falls, which actually includes 3 waterfalls between Ontario, Canada, and New York State. Horseshoe Falls is the largest, followed by the American Falls and the Bridal Veil Falls, which is the smallest of the 3. Altogether, the 3 falls create the highest water flow rate of any waterfall in the world. Not only are the falls known for their beauty, they are also the largest hydropower facility in the Western world and the largest producer of electricity for the state of New York. Niagara Falls has been a favorite vacation spot for honeymooners and also a favorite for movies and television. Just before we leave Niagara Falls, we're going to put on a raincoat and hop aboard the Maid of the Mist. Since 1846, this boat cruise has taken passengers like us on a daring adventure right into the rapids just below the falls. Stay dry! Towering above the New York City skyline, our next stop will be the Empire State Building, which is a 102-story building called a skyscraper. It was completed in 1931 and remained the tallest building in the world for the next 40 years. Like the Golden Gate Bridge that we visited earlier, the Empire State Building has also been designated as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. It took 3,400 workers, including many immigrants from Europe and many from Native American tribes, about 17 months to construct the building. From observation decks on the 86th floor and on the top at the 102nd story, we have an impressive view of the entire city. During our tour, we can ride on one of 73 elevators or climb over 1,800 steps. Movie buffs will remember several iconic films which featured the Empire State Building. Going all the way back to the 1933 film King Kong, the make-believe ape climbed to the top but fell to his death after being attacked by airplanes. Several romantic films, including the most recent favorite, Sleepless in Seattle, were filmed in the building lobby and on the top observation deck. Our last stop will be at a very important little island in New York Harbor called Liberty Island. On the island, we'll find one of the most iconic, beloved, and photographed landmarks in the world. The Statue of Liberty is the landmark treasured by United States citizens, as well as many who migrated from European countries. It is a symbol of our freedom and independence, as well as the hope of many who came to the United States to start a new life. As a gift to the United States from the people of France, the statue was dedicated in 1886 as a symbol of freedom and to welcome the immigrants as they arrived from abroad. An interesting fact is that the statue was originally built in France, taken apart, and put into shipping crates to cross the Atlantic Ocean. It was then reassembled on the special pedestal built on Liberty Island. Like the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, it is maintained by the National Park Service. Because the statue is on an island, we'll hop aboard a ferry to take us to the statue. We'll be allowed to tour the base and the pedestal, but only 240 people each day are allowed to climb the staircase within the statue, which leads all the way to the crown on her head. Thank you for going on this road trip with me. I hope you'll come back again when I travel to other countries and fun places.